My name is Mary Voss, kindergarten teacher in Newport News Public Schools, 350 Williamsburg Court, Newport News, Virginia, 22666. Many of the claims about school system funding from tonight's budget presentation have been convincingly debunked by both the school system's Budget Straight Talk email and by school board member Douglas Brown's recent analysis. I think it's dishonest to try to derail our movement for a 4% raise with inaccurate data and misinformation. I'm noticing a pattern of City Council giving citizens the runaround when we come to speak before Council on education concerns by blaming things on the school board. For example, some council members have told Huntington Middle School families that the lack of funding for a new Huntington Middle School is the school board's fault. In actuality, as reported by the Daily Press, the school board has been asking City Council for funding for a new Huntington Middle School since 2010 without success. Next year, Huntington Middle will be closed and many of these middle schoolers will attend school in a hallway at Heritage High School. That's not fair to those students or their families, and Council is the governing body that controls percentage funding. So please stop playing the blame game and start adequately funding our schools. City Council steadily decreased the percentage funding for the school system from 2013 to 2018 to the equivalent of over $14 million in the 2018 budget. In addition, Newport News is the second to last in per pupil funding among all of the Hampton Roads localities, ahead of only Portsmouth. Frankly, that's an embarrassment to our city. We are failing our children, we must do better, and we don't want any more excuses. Why has City Council steadily decreased the percentage funding for our school system? Well, back in 2013, City Council hired Jim Borey as city manager. This is the same Jim Borey who had to resign in disgrace after being involved in a scandal in which the Peninsula Airport Commission lost $4.5 million. By the way, Jim Borey also resigned in disgrace and was fired from previous positions in other localities as well. So City Council made a very interesting choice in hiring him as city manager. But Borey's biggest scandal was steadily plundering our school's budget from 2013 all the way to his forced resignation in 2018. Having worked at 3 Title I schools in Newport News over the last 9 years, I have met many, many children who could have greatly benefited from all the millions of dollars that Jim Borey took from our schools as City Council rubber stamped away on his budgets. An up or down vote on the 4% raise proposal prior to the May 1st election. We would also like to know prior to the election which members of City Council are willing to pledge to work toward bringing our NNPS operating budget and capital improvements budget back up to the funding percentages they were at before City Council let Jim Borey plunder our school's budget for his development projects. Speaking of development, Newport News citizens have spoken clearly about their desire to zone City Farm as a public park free from residential development. I noticed on the website, Save Riverview Park, that 3 of the 4 members of City Council
on
the ballot papers have not signed a pledge to City Farm a public park free from development.
Ma'am, would you please?
So you stand for the people and not for developers.